Shalom. This is Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6 to 9. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? I want to give all praises and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching this word and believing in this word in the same spirit and in sound doctrine. Lord willing, as a whole, that y'all continue in sound doctrine and in the same spirit. And shalom to the Aqua, the believers of this faith and this truth. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving, excellent, and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the Most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. The title of this lesson, it might be, why should we study the ants? Right? Why should we study the ants? The ants is an example of diligence. The ants is an example of diligence. Yahweh created the smallest of creatures to rebuke the laziness of men. Oh, but well, hey, the women too. Women too. But when we look at the ministry, let me just get a precept real quick. Right? Because men is a different standard than women. Right? So let me get this verse. This is Ezekiel chapter 34 and verse 31. It says, "And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your power, saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai." Right? If you read that in the NLT, it says, "You are my flock, the sheep of my pasture. You are my people, and I am your power. I, the sovereign Yahweh, have spoken." Right? The real sheep of the Lord is the men. Right? Who is the tabernacle of Yahweh? The men. Right? Because working for the Lord is a job. This is a business. Right? This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. It says, "And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them, and be their power." Right? The tabernacle of the Most High is men. Wait, what did Yahweh Shai say to his mother at the age of 12? This is Luke chapter 2. They was looking for him, but we're going to go straight to the point. Luke chapter 2 and verse 49. Right? Because he was asking and answering questions by the doctors of the law. So I just want to just get the point. Verse 49, it says, "And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Was ye not that I must be about my Father's business?" Right? This business is a job. Right? This business is a job. Right? Maintaining the sheep. Let me see if it's going to give me business. Okay, I looked up the word for business. Right? This is what it says in the Greek.
Strong's G 3962. Pater. Pater.
Pater. Right? And it's multiple points, but I want to get this one. Must be about my Father's business is a title of honor. The business of the Lord is a title of honor. Teachers, as those to whom pupils, right, learners, trace back the knowledge and training they have received. Right? Must be about my Father's business. Right? So The ants, they don't need a king or a leader telling them what to do. It distinctively, or they distinctively, prepare and work diligently, right? And this is wisdom for Israel. Us studying the ants, even us studying nature, how things in order have their purpose. First, when we look at the sea and the ocean, they don't mix, right? Everything has an order. Don't wait for someone to constantly push you into righteousness. Move with diligence for your own salvation, right? This is not free will, but you want to have that move, right? And if you're not moving to do the most for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, how can you say you in the spirit? With a lot of Christians or people that say they in this faith, that they're moving in the spirit and they're not growing. You still on the same damn level, right? So let's go to 2 Thessalonians, the 3rd chapter. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 in verse 10. It says, "For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat." Right? Let's read it in NLT. "Even while we were with you, we gave you this command. Those unwilling to work will not get to eat." So if you ain't willing to work, if you ain't trying to work, which we see Yahushua said he must be about his father's business. Yahweh created you. You belong to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Your DNA is tagged with the name of Yahweh. 10565. Right? You are connected to the Lord. Now the elect is fully connected. Wi-Fi connected. Right? So if the ants is doing the most to be distinctively, actively working, you are a human being. You were created above all creatures on this side. You should be having more motion. What the kids say? "Oh, I got more motion than you." You should have more motion than the ants. Just as the ants labor to store food, we must labor in this truth to store up spiritual riches. Right? Let's go to that classic in Matthew, the 6th chapter. Right? And ants, when an ant die, what do the ants do? They come and collect that dead ant and bring that ant to the so-called ant cemetery. Matthew 6 in verse Salaki family. I probably just went past it. Okay, this is Matthew chapter 6 and verse 19. "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." Your heart is your mind. So through the spirit, brothers, especially those that are of the faith, they're going to know if you're really of the Lord, because your heart, your mind is stayed on the Lord. Your action, right? A lot of us are going to move different, right? Like the brothers always say, it's not about boasting about me, but I'm just using as an example. When brothers say I matured even more, you got some at work, because I was being a goofball at work, but the Lord just removed me from them to be even more focused, right? And that was the time where I was still doing videos to, to make people laugh, to entertain them on that side, but they were enjoying those more than being edified. The more I grew, the more I got turned off on it, by it. So now I don't do those videos, and it's always just edification. So then even the brothers I labor with, like the brother Yarmayan, he'll say like, "Bro, you don't even do that no more." He'll even test me to see if I could still do certain things like flips or certain things, if I could still do it. But it's just my demeanor on this side. The spirit made me slow down or really stop doing music. It's not saying I don't want to do it, but I'm more on a fire to either hear the word or to do a lesson. As soon as I get up and get ready for work, I get done saying hi to my whole family, and now I'm in the zone. I talk to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and now I'm in the zone. I'm already thinking of lessons. I'm thinking of what chapter I'm about to read at work, right? Am I about to finish this breakdown? Am I going to finish that breakdown? Oh man, dang, I hope I can get another video on this breakdown. My mind is stayed on them. Because the more you grow in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the more your spirit grows to mature, right? Lord willing, you understand that, right? So again, just as the ants labor to store food, we must labor in the truth, right? We must labor in the truth to store up spiritual riches. This is work, right? And in this work, you get a profit or you get an investment, right? So when Yahushua come back, did you double up what he already gave you? Right? So we have to know the preparation for the time to come. So the ants work in summer to prepare for winter spiritually. This is basically representing preparing for now while grace and mercy is open. Right? Because Yahushua is in that. Yahushua is that mediator for us. Now we have that grace, that favor, mercy, that compassion that the Lord has for us, right? Before the famine of the word in the day of judgment. That's Amos, the 8th chapter. So for you, everything you're doing on the side, as a teacher, as a student, as a believer, you're trying to plant that certain seed, that labor, that work. So when the famine of the word is, you're already consumed in the stability of the time, which is wisdom. Right now, wisdom is the stability of that time, because when the worst come, you're going to already be full, right? You're going to be plentiful. You're going to always count on this scripture. Oh, I'm thinking of this when the worst is yet to happen. But if you sleep in this season, you will have nothing when destruction comes. This is not the time to sleep. Right? Let's get the classic. Like Jeremiah say, this is the classic of classic. Let's get the Romans, the 13th chapter. In verse 11, it says, in that, knowing the time, in that now it is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. Right? The times, if you know the times that you're in, is going to get your spirit shaped. Right? Because you want to be of the elect. You don't want to be the 2/3. The destruction that's going to come, you'll be able to see it. Jacob Trouble, you'll be able to see. You'll be able to know. Everybody with these nice cars, all my jewelry, my fancy clothes. In a minute, all that shit about to stop. TikTok, YouTube, having all the fun. Eventually, that karama going to come, and that's going to really show who you with. Even before that, what is you doing? You have to maintain your position in this thing as a believer of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? Let's get Isaiah 55 and 6. This is Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 6. And it reads, seek ye Yahweh while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Right? And you should be having the right name. Right? The name matter. So you should be saying Yahweh Yahushai. Seeking the Lord is a form of what the word is, darash, to investigate. You got the whole role, right? 1 week, or really 1 week, you should be in one book. Hey, if you're a good reader and you can understand, right, multitasking at the same time, right? Yeah, it might take you 3 days to read a book. Hey, you might go back into that same book and try to get the breakdown of certain points. You might try to get the treasure out of it. Then you go into parables. Then you go into dark sayings, and then you get in prophecies. Right? You want to investigate the Lord. Why he do this? Who he do it for? Oh, what they got to do? Such and such and such. Right? This is supposed to be a continuous mission in your mind. This Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter, in verse 10. It says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave. Grave is rest, peace. Whither thou goest, right? When you go in the grave, you can't find this wisdom, knowledge, understanding no more. In the NLT, whatever you do, do well. For when you go to the grave, there will be no work or planning or knowledge or wisdom. Now your spirit about to go be with the Father. It's over. Don't waste your time while you living. I don't care if you dumb, broke, poor, right? You got a roof over your head. You got your little Wi-Fi. You can sit in your house, have a little drink. You got a Bible. You got your phone. You should be watching lessons. You should be reading. Hey, meditate on what you learn, right? You should be digging in there, man, right? You don't want to have that spiritual laziness versus that spiritual industry, right? When it said, thou slugger is lazy, right? A slugger isn't just about physical laziness. It's about neglecting the work of Yahweh Shem Shai, which is spiritual laziness. The ant symbolized industry, right? In industry, teamwork, and focus, while the slugger is symbolizing distraction, excuses, procrastinating, or procrastination, or procrastinate, right? They always got excuses. Oh, this and this and that. Oh, I got a kid. I got children. Oh, my wife. Oh, my other wife. Oh, man, I got child support. Oh, I'm working 40 hours. Well, boo-hoo. Well, boo-hoo. Whoop-de-woo. Whoop-de-doo with no shoe. If the Lord call you, right, the Lord is not worried about all these other things in this world, right? We read about Yahweh Shai. He was a 12-year-old. He left his mother and father when they was leaving Jerusalem. They panicking. Man, we sought you. He turned and told his mom, man, what is you looking for me for? You know I must be about my father's business. You know I was sent down here for duty. Yes, because I'm a child and all of this. No, it's time. Yahweh Shai was growing in the wisdom. And what was this man doing? Asking questions and answering questions, right? And a lot of us men, we get in this truth at the age the Lord wanted fit. I didn't come in this thing as a young child. I came in this thing as a grown man, right? But my mind coming in this thing, you are a babe when you come in this thing. So I got to have that same mindset as Yahweh Shai. I must be about my father's business. I don't care if I got 8 kids, 1 wife, 2 wives, 3 wives, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't care what number it is. Yahweh Shem Shai has to come first, because me just sitting on my ass being lazy, making excuses, or doing the minimum or doing the least is not going to get me in the kingdom. I'm not sure. If I'm doing the least, I'm not sure in this thing, right? The kingdom is promised, but many is called, but only the few is chosen. Do you really think your faith, your spiritual work ethic is good enough to get beamed up? You bet Skippy not to yourself that you did a good job. It's not enough. You should always feel it's never enough. I need more. I got to do more, right? Because it is high time to wake out of sleep. Because right now, our salvation is nearer than we believe. Second Esdras 14, 11, and 12. We're in the 12th period, the 12th part, the time frame of the Lord, right? That half period, the 10th period, the time of Yahweh Shai has already passed. We 2,000 years later on in our time, right? 2 days in the Lord's time, but we're 2,000 years away from that. We're in the 12th part. Shit about to change. You better buckle up, right? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Embrace for impact, right? Let's get Hebrews, the 6th chapter. This is Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 11 to 12. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end, that ye be not slothful. Slothful is lazy, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. In the NLT, our great desire is that you will keep on loving others as long as life lasts, in order to make certain that what you hope for will come true. I'm hoping I get the kingdom. What you hoping for? Then you will not become, look, and if you hoping for the kingdom, your actions should show it. Your faith should show it. Are you fucking kidding me? It should be the reflection that's in the mirror, right? Then you will not become spiritually dull, right? Lazy, right? And indifferent. Instead, you will follow the example of those who are going to inherit the Most High's promises because of their faith and endurance, right? That's why you're supposed to be a reflection of somebody else with faith. Paul said, imitate me as I imitate Yahweh Shai. That's why I love that it's the men of the Lord in here. I get to imitate them. I'm not imitating no woman, but it's certain examples I get to. Mary was learning at the feet of Yahweh Shai. She, even though she could have been cooking, she said, man, our salvation right here. Guess what? Through the Spirit, I know the Rakakwadash is in the earth because now the books is open. 56 years, all these other religions was here already open to the world before this truth came out, man. 56 years, this is the right time. If you came in this truth 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20, 30, 40, 50, this is the time right now, right? You should be in a different motion, right? Self-motivation in the spirit, encouraging yourself. Man, you got this. Yo, you got to do more. When I'm rebuking my own self, it's encouraged me to do even better, right? Because I even believe that I can do better. And to move without a ruler or overseer, right? Let's go back to the Proverbs, the 6th chapter, in the 7th verse. And this is what it reads. It says, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler. In the NLT, though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work. They don't got that, right? Ants move without a ruler or overseer. This teaches us self-discipline in the spirit, right? What is it? Wisdom of Solomon 6. You got to love discipline. And that's really the spirit of the Lord. A true believer should not need constant supervision to study, to pray, or to walk in righteousness, right? That's like a handicapped person or a blind person always need somebody to walk them across the street. Because when you come to serve the Lord, you start to get vision. You don't need nobody to help you walk across the street. Now you might need brothers to sharpen you up, and that's where the lessons come into play, right? So again, a true believer should not need constant supervision to study and pray. Did you pray? Did you study? Did you do this? To walk in righteousness. Look, even my children, even though they children, right, they should be imitating what's right in front of them. If they got a father that's a man of the Lord, they should be imitating. If their mother is a believer, she playing her role. Why you think children talk back? They're either watching their mother talk back. Either if the mother's lazy, if the father lazy, the son, the children is picking up after that. If you always cleaning, the children, in somewhat through the spirit, is going to imitate that action. Let me clean my room. Oh, you always getting on them for not cleaning. They're going to be alert on that. Yo, if I don't clean up, they're going to do this. This is why you have to be on your children and keep that same energy. So the more that they grow, the more they get used to it. You got to look at your children now. From the attributes you taught them now, even if they still hard-headed, do you think they can live on their own? You think they can have a house? You think they're going to pay their rent on time? You think they're going to keep their house clean? You think they're going to have food in the refrigerator? Or they going, oh, let me get this video, let me get clothes before I pay my rent or my bills or my water, right? Are they going to be ready for that? What if your daughter having a husband, right? They never had planned for dinner. Ain't shit in the refrigerator. There's always takeout. Is your daughter going to have her hair beautiful? Do she know how to do her hair? Right? If you don't think your children is not ready, guess what? That means your children is in a state that you still have to give them supervision. Babies have supervision. Children grow. You got supervision on when they outside. When you sleeping in the bed in the morning, your children go right in that refrigerator and make their own food. They don't need supervision. And the children know, you know what? I'm not gonna even ask to cook this on the stove because I don't know. That's extra work. But I know how to. Oh, I know how to warm up some tater tots in the air fryer or the oven. They don't need that supervision. But for certain things they haven't practiced on, they need supervision, right? So our motivation is the fear of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai in the hope of his son Yahushai. Right? Let's go to Philippians chapter 2 in verse 12. It says, "Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling." Right? This is Paul speaking. In the presence of Paul, hey, you working hard, but in my presence is you gonna have the same energy. Yahushua was on the earth. He's in the heavens now. Now, of course, if you believe, you know he still can see you. But why he's not on the earth, making plays, making moves in the flesh, you should be moving like he's there. Just like if you believe and know angels is watching and recording, you should be, oh man, are they recording? That means you should be making motion because you're being recorded, buddy, old pal Skipper Rooney, right? The ant as an image of the elect, right? Because if they're working, who is really working on this side? The elect, right? Ants are small and despised creatures, right? You're walking on the sidewalk and you probably just stepped on 5 of them. But together they build and survive. That mirrors the elect. Right? Humble, overlooked, and yet diligent and preserved. Because what do the elect do? They're building. Right? Ephesians, the 4th chapter, verse 11 to 13. Right? They're edifying to bring all into the unity of faith. Bringing them all to oneness, to agreement in the faith of Hamashiach Yahushai. Right? Their labor is united and constant. And it's not, oh, you teach that, you teaching something else, but hey, brother, I still love you, this unity. No, unity is an agreement. Amos 3:3. If we can't agree, we can't walk together. Right? This is why brothers is, I'm saying over here, I don't know what they doing over here. Right? Because you got some brothers in certain camps that they actually labor with, and they're not even agreeing with the understanding. But yes, I'm with this camp. But you're not agreeing with everything, that then you're not really in unity with them. I'm agreeing with Great Millstone, not just because, oh, they just teaching. I'm able to search it and seek it even for myself and see the same thing. Some things I'm going to have to spend more time because you got to search this and search that. Some things I got to go into history. Some things be plain. Sometimes you got to pray unto the Lord and he allow you from the work ethic that you have. The Lord is going to make it eligible for you to get it. Come on, man. So likewise, the body of Yahushai works together for one purpose, the kingdom. The body of Yahushai is from head to feet, arm and legs, eyes, tongue, lip. And they're in unity, oneness. Right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, in verse 58, the last verse. It says, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye stand fast and unmovable, always abounding in the work of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai." So if the true believers know they work ain't in vain, they're gonna do the most. Let alone, like, I told myself I was just gonna do a live and that was it. Man, I came and I still was thinking of another. I'm thinking like, dang man, I gotta do another lesson. I'm usually doing 3 or 4. As soon as I get off of work, I'm trying to do 3 or 4. Not to impress by a number, but to have enough for the sheep to be fed throughout this day. Right? They could be at work, they could be leaving work, they could be down on their luck and they're like, oh, I didn't watch a video. And you got 3 videos right here. You got 4 videos. If I slide in a 5th one, you got that in one day. Where there's no excuses. If you're subscribed to the channel, right, you're getting a notification. Hey, if you couldn't watch this at this time, you can watch that tomorrow. It's there. You know, because I'm always thinking about feeding the sheep, and on another side, I'm doing these things so the Lord can see me be busy in His business. Because I believe I'm about my Father's business. I believe I'm about Yahweh Shem Shai's business, my big brother, man, the Father of all creations. I believe I am. But I have to sometimes show myself, because I know I'm a human. Sometimes, man, I want to go do this. Sometimes I got to outdo myself. I got to outshine myself because I'm trying to be a better me. And even with that, I have to do this for the elect's sake. I want to endure, right? I'm tired. But guess what? If I believe in Yahweh Shem Shai, he can give me a little energy to be able to spare an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to do some lessons, get a read in, so that the sheep can look on the other side and smile and be like, dang, that was edifying. You know what? I got to go hard for this. Look at the time is getting worse, right? So know that your labor is not in vain, right? You want to be standfast and immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, right? You want to always work in enthusiastically, right? Come on, man. So while we closing out, right? Yahweh Shem Shai tells us to study the ant because it teaches, just like what we see in, 2 Timothy? Or is it 1 Timothy 2:15? Study to show thyself approved, so you can rightly divide the word of truth. Studying is a form of investigating, right? So I'm going to give you 5 words. Diligence, which is constant effort and righteousness. Preparation, which when you go into that Greek word, it means the act of preparing. If you know Yahweh Shai coming, you should be in preparation mode, the act of preparing. You just go to the blue letter, go to Ephesians, the 6th chapter. I don't know if it's verse 14 or 15 or 16. It might be 15. And it says the feet of preparation. You look up that word in the blue letter, it's going to say the act of preparing, right? So preparation, storing spiritual treasures before judgment, awakening. Don't spiritually sleep in this crucial time. Self-discipline, serving Yahweh Shem Shai without needing constant reminders, right? Nobody ain't got to tell me to do no lesson. After I watched Apostle Tahar lesson when he was talking about the brothers in his camp, if you don't even do 3 videos out the week, you getting kicked out the camp. That's the minimum. Soon as you start off with 1, 2, or 3, and that fire is in you, and you have a delight, especially if you have a delight for this, you truly believe, you're gonna really do the most that you can in a day or another day, whatever the Spirit draws you to do. Right? Unity of the elect, small but mighty through obedience and work. Because who was it? I think in Ezekiel, the Lord said it's a small sanctuary. This is a small herd, right? First the men. The ants is the proof that even the smallest creature carries a divine lesson, right? They're carrying a divine lesson in itself, right? Those who labor diligently will be preserved, but the slothful will be destroyed. That's why you have the 2/3. Lord willing, this is edifying, and Lord willing, you choose a side if you are going to be a 2/3 or you striving to be the elect. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power who made all these things possible. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. Almighty Shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit. Lord willing, y'all all can continue to teach this word and believe in this word in sound doctrine and in the same Spirit. Shalom to the Aqua, the believers of his faith and his truth. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot, being a loving and silent and virtuous wife, and continue to believe in his truth and his ministry and how it works. And Lord willing, Yahweh Shem Shai has mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. So with that, Shalom, Shalom, Abab, Abal.